Welcome back to the Dynasty Kings podcast. I'm your host, Jared.
And I'm Austin.
And we would like to apologize for last week.
Sick bitch.
I'm sick. I was sick. Listen, I've been sick as hell for the past week. I had bronchitis. I had a sinus infection. Still taking antibiotics for it.
Yep.
Fucking up my stomach.
Yep.
But today is the
Trooper.
first day. Today is the first day that I have felt like at least 99%. Which
Human.
is insane because yesterday even was bad too. But we're back, baby. We're back talking about week 8. We got a full slate to talk about.
No buys.
No bye weeks.
16 games included, and it is Friday, so Bucks and Bills already played. I don't know who I would have shouted out. I was honestly probably going to shout out Mike Evans.
Yeah, I
and
knew
then with
you
the
would.
garbage touchdown, so let's go. 11 points for the boy. But yeah, Bills took care of business there, and obviously if you had Gabe Davis as well, you're probably pretty happy, but there's 15 other games to talk about, and it's a little too late to pat ourselves on the back for the starts from a couple weeks ago. So
Yeah.
I figure we might as well just head right into the Battle of MetLife.
Yeah, I didn't even prepare to talk about.
Yep,
2
I
weeks
forgot.
ago. I did too. So we'll talk about the Battle of MetLife. I got that one. We're talking about Jets Giants, and my player of the week is someone that I don't think we've talked about on here. I haven't brought him up in years because I haven't hyped him up in years. But it's Darren Waller.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
coming off of 2 good weeks.
2 good weeks, especially last week. Last week was his best career game on the Giants.
Mhm.
So, everyone else in this matchup, the running backs, Breece Hall and Saquon Barkley, you're starting regardless. I didn't really want to bring them up as, we're going to talk about guys that are going to be super good. Like, no matter what, you're going to start them. But, I didn't want to start us off like that, especially because I left you guys hanging last week. So, we're starting with Darren Waller. It was really between Darren Waller and Garrett Wilson since I didn't want to talk about, 2 stud running backs.
Yeah.
So I didn't really want to talk about Garrett Wilson. I actually think that I might be sitting him this week because Zach Wilson sucks. He's coming off the bye and he actually went on vacation with his girlfriend instead of actually trying to make the team better. So, but we're not talking about him. We're talking about Darren Waller. He had his best game of the week. Best game of the season last week, like we said. He had 7 catches for 98 yards and a touchdown, so he was balling out. And the Jets allow the 5th most points to tight ends. So,
That makes a lot of sense.
hey,
Yep.
let's get him going. And Daniel Jones is ruled out, so Tyrod Taylor has been feeding Darren
Right,
Waller.
and that's what I was going to say. They showed good chemistry, so
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense. And DJ and Darren Waller did not seem to have that.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. And if Darren Waller is available in your redrafts, you better pick him up because, I feel like at this point, even if DJ does get back into the lineup, at this point he's kind of established himself as a playmaker in that offense. So
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense.
And Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed are back this week, the 2 starting
Damn.
corners for the Jets. So
Okay.
I don't think either of them are really going to be matched up on Darren Waller unless he's out wide, which I don't think they're really going to use him like that.
Right.
So I'm definitely starting Darren Waller this week with
Yeah,
confidence.
and have him eat up the interior of that defense.
Exactly.
All right, well, that makes sense. Well, I'm on to your favorite team, the Steelers, versus they're going to host the Jaguars. And this should be an interesting game. I feel like pretty much every Jaguars pass catcher is going to be a good start here because the Steelers secondary is horrific, except for Joey Porter Jr., but he has an issue with tackling is what I've heard, and I actually saw it a little bit in the game.
Yeah.
So, but that doesn't really affect coverages. So,
Right.
my start was going to be Zay Jones, but I actually saw...
He's out.
Yeah, he's out. So, that's just bad note timing on my chance. Look for Calvin Ridley here. I feel like if you have him on your team, this is probably a good time to start him.
Yeah.
He's been a little boomer bust. Not a little. He's been extremely boomer bust this year.
Yeah.
But I called it the 2 times that he went off, so let's call it a 3rd time. I think Calvin Ridley's going to have a nice one, especially with Zay Jones out. And like I said, Pittsburgh does not have very good corners at the moment.
Yeah, I completely agree. I actually think that if you assign this game to me, I was going to say Calvin Ridley because,
Really? Okay.
yeah, like we've said before, the Steelers suck against wide receiver ones. And, Christian Kirk has been their wide receiver 1 this season, but I think in that role, Calvin Ridley's going to eat against us. I also have Travis Etienne scoring a touchdown on us, too.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Obviously.
The Jags offense has looked really good. The Steelers defense has looked really good, but the secondary is the biggest issue, so I feel like they'll probably target that, but that could be Etienne out of the backfield as well.
Yeah.
Trying to get matchups against those secondaries. So as far as Steelers players go, I'm not super confident in any of them. Definitely would not want to be starting Najee or Jalen Warren, who I think is better than Najee in this matchup because the Jaguars have a good run defense.
Oh, that's true.
Really
We have
solid,
talked about that.
really solid run defense, and that's held true. But the other biggest thing with the Jaguars is their pass defense has been a lot better. In the beginning of the year, it was a little iffy, but they've really started taking the ball away and kind of limiting stuff like that. So if you have stars that you need to start, like I think all of the Steelers wide receivers are probably fine. That's kind of where I'm at with this matchup.
I'm starting George Pickens, and
Yeah,
I'm a
that makes
little
sense.
concerned about it, but not like crazy concerned.
Right, exactly. It's not the kind of thing where I would start somebody who's a tier below Pickens for it just because of the matchup. I don't think it's that bad by any means.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was a good one. And now we're moving on to a division matchup. I got Eagles versus Commanders, and this is going to be one of the games where I have to highlight somebody that's been absolutely balling. A.J. Brown, he has 5 straight games with 125 receiving yards. But I think this game, listen, he hasn't gone over 200 this season. This will be the game he does. Over 200 yards is my bold prediction of the week for A.J. Brown. And here's why. He has so against man coverage, he has a 50% target share, which is the league high, obviously.
I mean that's ridiculous.
50%
so if they
target
identify
share?
man, their odds are they're throwing it to him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a matchup nightmare.
Makes sense. He's huge.
So that's against man coverage. The Washington Commanders play the second most man coverage in the NFL.
Wow. Okay.
Do you remember the DJ Moore breakout game this season? Do you remember who it was against?
It was against the Commanders.
The Commanders. And he had over 200 yards.
Yeah. And the Commanders and Eagles have played already this year, right? And I believe Emmanuel Forbes got toasted multiple times by him.
By A.J. Brown.
So that I feel like history will probably repeat itself. I don't dislike Emmanuel Forbes as a corner, but he's definitely an undersized guy, and A.J. Brown kind of eats those people for breakfast. So that don't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And
I was actually going to highlight, because I also like Emmanuel Forbes, because my girlfriend's a Mississippi State fan. Yeah. He comes from Mississippi State. Mm-hmm. So obviously UCF is still number 1 in my books, but I still root for Mississippi State. I always troll her. I say, Hail State and go Dogs. So listen, I like Emmanuel Forbes, but he has been a little bit disappointing. I also like St. Juice, their other corner. Yeah. But they're younger guys. They're going to get better, but not this week. A.J. Brown's going to cook them.
Yeah, this is not a good wide receiver room to improve upon. They're guys that are kind of make issues for you. So, all right, that makes sense. Anybody on the Commander side of the ball that you're identifying here, or is it kind of just standard starters you want in there?
I think it's going to be a blowout. I think the Commanders are going to get blown out. I mean, they're allowing. They could set the record for allowing the most sacks for a quarterback.
Oh yeah,
they're on pace right now, and it's week 8. Right. So Sam Howell, I'm sorry, bud, but
he just holds the ball too long, bro.
Yeah, he does.
Refuses to throw it away, and I don't think he's gonna learn that in one season. So
yeah,
I could see that, but I know the first matchup between them was pretty close. So
I don't think this one will be.
All right,
and it's in Washington.
It's in Washington too, which is crazy. Yeah. Well. All right, I have the next one up, and it's Rams versus Cowboys, which is actually a really exciting matchup in general.
Yeah, I think so.
I've been happy with the development of the Rams being a watchable football team, because I really thought that it was going to be tragic, and also Cowboys playing at 1 kind of strange, but
and Rams.
Yeah, that is. How did this happen?
It's because there's 9 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
games.
I guess that's probably it's the
which is ridiculous.
Yeah, I love it. Red zone's gonna be poppin'.
It is gonna be poppin'.
So anyway, my star this week is a star. I think Tony Pollard's gonna have a huge week. He has kind of struggled this season in general. So I think coming off a bye, he's probably feeling really fresh. His offensive linemen are fully healthy, and the Rams are allowing 117 rushing yards per game, which is near the bottom of the league. It's not quite there, but it's definitely bottom 10 up in the league. And Tony Pollard's over under this week is 68.5 rushing yards. I think he's going to go way over that. I'm looking at 100 yards easily from him, and I'm hoping that he gets a touchdown. So I would assume you probably drafted him highly. You were going to start him anyway, but if you have any kind of reservations because he's been a little iffy this year, I think this is the game where those kind of go out the window. Yeah,
I mean, I think that Tony Pollard's good start this week too. Obviously, I got to shout out Puka Nacua, even though it's not my week.
Yep.
But hey, man, Pika.
That's right.
If you know, you know. So, anything else to say about Rams Cowboys?
No, I mean that's basically the biggest highlight for me. I do believe that the Cowboys are eventually going to get a good CeeDee Lamb game going, and the Rams secondary is a little bit suspect. So maybe this is the one. But I'm just thinking that they're gonna pound the rock this week. And on the Rams side of the ball, the Cowboys defense is super impressive. But I still think all of the stars on the Rams are going to be starts. Like Cooper and Puka both make a ton of sense.
Yeah, you have to start both of them.
Yep.
So we'll move on to another division matchup. I got 2 in a row. We got Vikings at Packers, which, in latest couple of years, this has been a huge matchup. This year, not so much, kind of stinky. And it's actually, I think I saw like the past 63 or 60, 61, 62, 63 games that these two teams have faced each other. It's been a quarterback by the name of Rodgers or Favre.
Yeah.
And now we got Jordan Love. And that is my player of the week, but we are sitting him because he is terrible. This guy fucking stinks. Okay? We got a full 16 game slate this week. Why the hell would you start Jordan Love? You have all quarterbacks that you could start, and you're choosing to start Jordan motherfucking trash ass Love. Don't do it. Okay? Last week against the Broncos defense, which is the worst in the NFL, especially to quarterbacks, he threw for 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. That's abysmal.
And
Come on.
One of those touchdowns should have been an interception that bounced off his hands, and then Romeo Dobbs picked it up out of the...
It's just unbelievable how trash this guy is, okay? Listen, it might bite me in the ass because I play against him this week. In our Dynasty Kings League. It is a partial manifest, but it's also true. This guy fucking stinks. Okay?
And the Vikings the defense has looked much improved over the last couple weeks.
Andrew Booth Jr. is finally stepping up to be that player that we thought.
He's healthy and he's looking good.
Yeah, so listen, sit Jordan Love. Omar, I know you're listening, you bastard. Sit him and start Gardner Minshew.
Bro, yeah, I mean, I honestly think that's probably a no-brainer.
Or start just literally somebody else in your super flex.
Yeah.
This guy sucks, I'm telling you.
Yeah, well,
that's all I can
makes
say.
sense.
That's all I gotta say.
My goodness, that's intense.
I'm aggressive about it.
Yeah, I can see that. But no, I mean, yeah, if you have another quarterback option, especially in redraft, you better pick one up. I think Kirk Cousins is probably going to have a good game in this matchup. I know that the Packers secondary is better in general than the 49ers, but I mean, he was absolutely cooking on Monday. So I feel like that'll continue.
Yeah, he was cooking in prime time. So
right,
we got a new Christian. I was going to say Christian Kirk. He is still Christian Kirk, but we got a new Kirk Cousins.
Yep. All right, I love that. All right, well, yeah, we've been saying it. Sit AJ Dillon until he's retired.
Yeah.
All right.
He did actually. I do have to shout him out.
He did break off a
he looked all right last week.
He broke off a big, but even it was like wide open, and then he just like got caught up to immediately. So it's just like no burst from that guy.
Cut him.
If you need like 2 yards, whatever. But that's not the kind of fantasy running back that you want.
Yeah.
Falcons Titans. Still in the 1 o'clock slate.
Yep.
Guys, 1 o'clock slate's huge.
Yeah.
Bijan. I ain't worried about the headache. I ain't worried about the stomach. Sleeper changed his picture. It's over.
It's over.
It's literally over. I'm also liking Kyle Pitts in this matchup.
Okay.
Titans linebackers are suspect as hell in pass coverage. Very good at run defense and rushing the passer, but just so suspect in pass coverage. And Kyle Pitts, got opportunities and made the most of them, it seems like. So I don't still trust Desmond Ridder because I think he's way worse than Jordan Love. And that's saying something.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Actually,
that's a
Ritter
like
sucks.
way worse.
Yeah.
And but he seems to be feeding his playmakers now, so hopefully that continues. But yeah, if anybody is trying to, Bijan's got some like permanent headaches or something.
Headaches.
It's fine. It's fine. I've had, I've heard people concerned about it, like, oh, what's up with the injury? Asking me, like, am I gonna Of course, I'm gonna start him.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. He's in there. Get him going. That's an easy one for me. I've been a fan of D-Hop this season, but I do think that this might be a bad matchup for him. Depends on how the quarterbacks look for the Titans.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting.
Hey.
I would definitely start Derrick Henry in this matchup as well. That seems
Really?
like an obvious one, just because I feel like with the new quarterbacks, they're probably gonna run the ball a lot.
I was thinking that too. I actually have a lot that I kind of want to talk about for this matchup.
Yeah.
This is going to be a long episode, so I hope you all are strapped in.
Oh yeah.
But first of all, I want to say I definitely agree with the Bijan pick. Absolutely, come on. But I actually disagree with the Kyle Pitts pick. I think that it's going to be a Jonnu Smith week because he's going to have a revenge game against the Titans.
Revenge game.
So if you got Jonnu, I really like him as an option this week.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a tight end to start, I think he's a good option.
Yeah, no, and that's a great waiver wire pickup if you're in redraft trying to think of somebody, because I think even if he's a little touchdown dependent, he might still get 5 catches, 50 yards, and that's really all you can ask for from a tight end in redraft when you're scooping him off the waiver wire.
Exactly. And then another thing that I wanted to bring up is the Will Levis and Malik Willis game. I mean, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts?
I would avoid both of those guys.
I would avoid both of them for this week. But
I am very curious to see what they look like. Yeah. Because I've heard they're splitting time. Like, are they treating this like a preseason game where they're each going to get a quarter or like 2 drives and then switch?
What I've read is that it's going to be mostly a lot of Will Levis. And then for rushing situations and stuff like that where they want to bring in Derrick Henry and, short yardage type of stuff, they're going to use a lot of Malik Willis. Like, he's still going to get time. Yeah. For sure. Like, it's not going to be, 90-10. Like, I would say probably around 60-40, 70-30-ish. So, yeah, I'm super excited, especially as a Will Levis guy. Yep. Hopefully he doesn't disappoint me because then I'll be sad.
Yeah, you have to eat some mayo.
Yeah, I'll
drink it. Excuse me.
Well, I was gonna say I would eat a whole case of mayo or a whole jar of mayo if he shits the bed, but I'm not doing that, and it's very likely that he does.
Don't put that out there, bro. No way. No way. All right, but yeah, that's all I have to say about that one. Not a super interesting matchup in general, but I mean the Falcons are probably gonna be a playoff team, so let's see if they can get the job done.
Yeah, I mean I hope they do. But we'll move on to another division matchup that I have. I got 3 in a row. I thought there was only 2, but I just realized Patriots-Dolphins. So, Patriots-Dolphins, I got the player of the week for this game. I got a guy that we love on the DK podcast, a guy that you used to have, a guy that I do have.
Yep.
Raheem Mostert, baby. Come on.
Ready to eat again.
Bijan Mustardson. Now, Raheem Mustardson. Mustard. Raheem Mustard. So, his week 2 stats against the Patriots, because these 2 teams already played, he had 18 carries, 121 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
Come on, man.
That's great. And had some good reception work, too, right?
He did all right. Okay. I don't think he did crazy.
Couple catches.
Yeah, so it wasn't anything to write home about.
25-plus week,
Yeah. So, the Dolphins are also, I think they're going to look to really bounce back this week after a tough loss last week against the Eagles. A lot of people think that they got hoed by the refs. Hey, whatever your opinion is, you're entitled to your opinion. Right. But I think that this week they're going to have a statement game against the Patriots.
Yeah. It's a much lesser team than the Eagles for sure.
Yeah, much lesser. I did see that Hefe, that's what I call him, Jeff Wilson Jr., but I call him Hefe. I think he's going to get a lot more opportunities this week. I think he only got 1 carry last week, so definitely expect him to see an uptick in usage this week, but I don't think it's really going to take away from Mostert that much.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be a big Mostert week.
Yeah.
So.
No, that makes sense.
And last week it was not, but the Eagles were a top 3 run defense, and the Patriots aren't.
So no, not at all.
They're abysmal against the run.
Yeah, and also need to address, since we weren't here last week, Patriots beat the Bills. I was in hell. Bills secondary is so suspect. They're mid until further notice. Need to address that to everybody.
You didn't have to address it.
I had to, bro. I saw it. They were haunted. Well, I just said that the Patriots are a lesser opponent and they just beat the Bills.
That's true. You kind of
know what I mean? They beat the Bills, so what does that make the Bills? Anyway, hopefully the Dolphins lose so the Bills can maintain AFC East lead. Alrighty. Saints Colts.
Wait, so you're rooting for the Patriots? Oh, come on.
You know what? Go Dolphins.
Right. There it is.
Saints Colts. This is a Super Bowl rematch from quite a while ago.
2007. Whenever Katrina was.
Yeah, it's been a minute, bro.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
No, it wasn't.
2008,
it was around there.
Because Breeze was on 909, if I remember correctly.
And the Steelers went to the 2007 Super Bowl, pretty sure. So.
All right. Well, that makes sense to me. But I know that these. My friend's a Colts fan, and Bobby, shout out if you're watching this.
Shout out to Bobby.
I know he's not a Saints fan for a couple of reasons, because Bountygate first off, and then winning the Super Bowl second off. So anyway, I'm sitting Pittman in this matchup.
Really?
I love Michael Pittman. I love him. But I kind of brought this up with Nico Collins when the Texans and the Saints had played, and I think Nico ended up going for 60 or 70 yards, which is fine numbers. But Marshawn Lattimore seems to kind of get in the head of these physical catch point receivers. And I have a feeling that he's going to do it again today.
Yeah, or
This
today.
week. 2 days from now.
Yeah, that's interesting. I did not expect to ever hear you say to sit Michael Pittman
Yeah.
Jr. So.
You know, you got to do it sometimes. More often than not, the amount of targets that he gets is going to make it worth it to put it in your bench. And similar to what we were talking about with George Pickens, I wouldn't go a tier down because the matchup is so bad. But like if you have a guy like Michael Pittman versus Terry McLaurin, I'm going Terry all day long in this matchup.
Well, you do have that.
Exactly. And that's why I'm going Terry all day long. And people that are in that tier where they're not quite number one receivers with good quarterbacks, I think that's like a tier below guys like AJ Brown and Stephon Diggs and stuff like that. And I would say if you have two of those guys, Pittman's probably going to want to be your sit.
I got an interesting start sit for you. So would you start Michael Pittman Jr.? Is it Junior?
Yeah, it's Junior.
Okay. Would you start Pittman or Josh Downs? Same team.
I'm saying Pittman till further notice. Like Josh Downs is a huge explosive playmaker, and you could see that last week. But I think Pittman's just a more consistent targets kind of guy, and that could change, as Downs is becoming more accustomed to the offense and getting more chemistry with Gardner Minshew. But as it stands right now, I think just like the pure volume that you're going to get from Pittman is probably going to be the better move.
All right, that makes sense to me. All right, we're moving on to a spicy matchup.
Yep.
The Texans at the Panthers. And I didn't fact check this because I tried to fact check it and I couldn't find it anywhere, which means that I think it's true.
Yeah.
It's because I couldn't find it anywhere. But I think this is the first time in NFL history that the number 1, the number 2, and the number 3 overall rookie picks are going to be the same exact game. Because you got Bryce Young versus C.J. Stroud, obviously.
Right.
But the Texans traded up for Will Anderson Jr., who's the 3rd overall pick, and he's going to be in this game, and I think he's going to be in Bryce Young's face because, they were former teammates at Alabama. Will Anderson was interviewed this week, and he was teasing him, I'm going to be in Bryce Young's face this week, bullying him a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
It's
but
spicy.
Yeah, it's going to be a really fun game. And I actually think the Texans come out on top, which is why I was going to make my player of the week C.J. Stroud, but I wanted to go a little deeper. I wanted to get a little bit more of a sleeper pick. So I went with Tank Dell.
Damn.
Yeah,
okay.
baby.
Okay.
Another rookie.
Yeah.
Another rookie in this matchup. So he's coming back from a concussion, so I'm not really too concerned about, injury history, whether it was, if it was like a hamstring injury or like an ankle injury or a knee injury or something, that's more of a concern. But concussion, he's had a week to recover.
2 weeks because he's coming off a bye week, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Right?
So he's chilling. I think that he's going to really, cook this Panthers defense that is sus as hell.
Yes.
And then Robert Woods was also ruled out today. So that takes away a bunch of targets from a guy that does command, at least, 5-6 targets a game. And with Tank Dell coming back, those targets should, obviously go to him and then still Nico Collins as well. So I think that Tank Dell is in for a pretty big game because I think C.J. Stroud is really going to want to prove that he should have been the number 1 pick, which he doesn't have any animosity towards Bryce Young. I know that they have been like friends for like a really long time. Right. So it's not like he's doing it out of like, oh, I hate you, but like he's proving a point this game. It's a statement game.
He's trying to like convince, like he's probably already offensive rookie of the year at this point, like front runner. He's probably trying to convince it.
Puka. I'm telling you.
Tough choice, bro.
Yeah.
That's actually going to be a real debate at the end of this
really
season.
Is.
It's going to be crazy, man. But this matchup's going to be sweet. 2 very young teams. You can kind of see where they're headed. I think the Panthers are kind of where the Texans were 2 or 3 years ago, where they're picking up talent, but they have a long way to go. Yeah. And I think the Texans are getting ever so closer to, being possibly playoff relevant.
Yeah. And then another player I wanted to highlight too, which is a player I actually just recently traded for, is Adam Thielen.
Yep.
I think that he's going to have a pretty good game. I am a little scared because the Texans are like the 4th best team against wide receivers.
Damn, okay.
Yeah, which is actually like crazy.
It's very surprising, yeah.
It's
who do they have across from Derek Stingley? I can't remember who their other
quarterback is. They have Jalen Petrie as their safety, who's really good.
Very good, yeah.
He's been very good. I don't remember their other corner, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I haven't watched a lot of Texans games because they seem to just be showing them just like throwing bombs. And then it's like nothing else.
Yeah, not much on defense.
Yeah.
So, but Adam Thielen has had a crazy good week.
Yeah.
If you have him in your redraft league or dynasty league, I'm still starting him with confidence. So that's another one. If you have him or Michael Pittman, I would start Thielen.
Yep, so. I'm thinking the same here. And Bills, trade for Adam Thielen.
Really? You like
that
one?
Yeah, man, he's old. He's coming on. I think he's on a 1 or 2 year contract. What's he gonna do with the Panthers? What's he gonna do with the Panthers? Go 1-15?
Yeah.
Get him over there. Get him over here.
All right.
Anyways,
yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I would love that.
I like
as a
it a
Josh
lot.
Allen guy.
Oh yeah, bro. Jay would go to the moon. But yeah, so that makes sense to me. I'm super excited for this game. Hopefully they show it a lot on the 1:00 games. I would like it to be close. I could definitely see it not being close.
Yeah.
But it would be cool to see the number 1 and 2 duel it out and have both offensive, powerful games.
Yeah.
Be really sweet. All right, so that's it for the 1:00 slate. That was a lot.
A lot of 1:00 games.
4 games at 4 p.m.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro.
Like,
how is there 9 and then 4? Like,
They
at
love
least
it.
move.
They would love it. It's because they want that game of the week to have. I bet the Chiefs Broncos is the game of the week. It's gonna be horrible.
No.
It's probably Bengals 49ers
Yeah.
then. Yeah, one of those two for sure. But they want everybody watching that one. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Whatever.
So Browns Seahawks. I am grabbing Seattle's defense here in the redraft because I feel like they're probably available in most leagues.
Okay.
And I think that PJ Walker, we love him. He's an XFL guy.
Yep.
He's not that great. And he's kind of shown that in his performances, but the Browns have won almost in spite of him.
Yeah.
I know for a fact he has at least 1 interception in both of his starts. Well, not start, the start and the half. Yeah. So, and he might have 2 in both of them. I can't remember if it was a fumble or an interception, but he has turned the ball over a lot, and turnovers are huge for defenses, especially in redraft stuff. And the Seahawks defense has been serious, man.
Yeah.
Bobby Wagner played great for the Rams last year. He's looking great this year.
He hasn't been practicing though.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
two straight. I don't know about today, but the past 2 days, him, Ken Walker, and Tyler Lockett have not practiced at all.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's coming off the.
No,
they're not.
they're not.
No, I think they have a bye coming up soon.
No. They had a bye 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mhm.
Well, damn, man, they're fucked up. All right. Well,
I still like the Seahawks.
That definitely definitely I think is still the move. Maybe Njoku will have a better game without that big presence in the middle of the defense, but I definitely think the biggest factor here is PJ Walker.
Yeah.
Browns O-line is good and Seahawks D-line has been catching up but still not really dominant or anything, but I think their secondary is truly great.
Yeah.
Devon Witherspoon has come on excellently, and they've kind of kept him in that nickel role while letting Jamal Adams sort of roam around the field but still stay close to the line of scrimmage. And I think the combination of those guys, along with Reek Woolen, who's been having not the same kind of impressive year he had in his rookie year, but he's definitely not a scrub by any means. He's been playing good ball. And I think that, they're probably going to get a pick. They might even get 2. And they're probably not going to allow more than 14 or 17 points. And so I don't think that they necessarily are guaranteed to win this game because the Browns defense is savage.
Yeah.
Seahawks are dealing with injuries on the O-line, and the Browns D-line is disgusting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely my favorite player to look out for here. If DK is back, he's obviously going to be in your lineup, but I think he'll probably eat if he's back because he hates not playing and not doing well. So he always tries to just go crazy whenever he's had a bad game or is coming off an injury or something like that. I've noticed. But he should be in your lineup either way. So I'm thinking if you're looking to pick somebody up, Seahawks defense makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that does make sense to me. Another thing that I want to say that you mentioned is David Njoku. The Seahawks, I don't know if they're dead last against tight ends, but they are really bad against tight ends this season. Bobby Wagner is just really good against the run and tackling, but in coverage he's not that great.
Right.
And it's
kind of slowed down a little bit.
And it's the same for Jamal Adams. He's kind of
he's always been bad at coverage.
Yeah,
too,
he's terrible in coverage.
Yeah.
So if you do have David Njoku, he's another good tight end start this week, I think.
No, that definitely makes sense, and I think Njoku is maybe slightly below that tier where you start every week. So it might be a good person to throw in there.
Exactly. So we'll move on to the game of the week.
The Sam Darnold game.
Oh my God! Stop, bro. No, it's Bengals versus 49ers. If Sam Darnold does start, bro, I'm not expecting big things.
I believe he is.
Well, I saw Brock Purdy came back to practice today. That doesn't mean that he's playing.
Right,
he's concussed.
Yeah.
So I still do think that Sam Darnold will start, and I think that he will shit the bed, and I think the Niners are going to lose 3 in a row.
Yeah. No, I all these people are telling me oh, it's time for Darnold, man. It's time to prove who he is. We've seen him, bro. We've seen him play 60 games, and I know he's young. He's 26 years old still, which is honestly ridiculous. When I heard that today, I was like, how is that even possible? It feels like he's been in the league for 10 years. But
well, he came into the league pretty young.
I think he came in at 20, if I remember correctly, and then turned 21 in his rookie year.
Yeah.
But still, it doesn't feel like he's been playing for 6 years. But we've seen it. He has flashes where he looks good, and then has flashes where he just forgets to play football. And this Bengals defense has been a little less impressive than they have in the past, but they're still definitely a good unit. So yeah, I mean, I agree. If CMC doesn't absolutely spaz, I agree, and I think they probably lose this one.
Well, then the Bengals do have like a poor run defense.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that he kind of will spaz.
Mm-hmm.
But the 49ers, Brock Purdy's probably out. Debo Samuel is out, confirmed,
Yep.
which they're going into a bye next week. So
Right.
Debo will come back after the bye, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And then Trent Williams is also questionable. So it's going to be a rough game for the Niners, which is why my start of the week is actually going to be Joe Burrow.
Okay.
Which I know it's not super spicy. I said Joe Burrow about 2 weeks ago, but he had a good game. So the Bengals are coming off a bye. They had a bye last week. And I think that they were really prepping for this game against the Niners because, like I said 2 weeks ago, this is the time that the Bengals turn it up in the season.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have 2 weeks to prepare for, I would say the Niners are a top 3 team in the NFL. It's kind of hard to debate 3 teams that are better than them. You could say the Eagles, you could say the Chiefs, you could say, I think it's them after
that's
that.
pretty much it. Yeah.
So, I think that Joe Burrow is going to come back. He's going to have a vengeance this week. I know Jamar Chase was saying that he's expecting, the Bengals to win this week because, they've been prepping for this game. They're going to be ready, bro. Mm-hmm. Tyler Lockett is saying that this is a do or die, or not Tyler Lockett, sorry. Tyler Boyd is saying that this is going to be a do or die week this week. And this is going to say a lot about the Bengals season. So
no, I definitely think the winner of this game makes a huge statement.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if the 49ers can go out there and win with Sam Darnold,
no shot.
I don't know. But I don't want to hear a thing if Sam Darnold has a bad game that Brock Purdy is assistant quarterback. I don't want to hear a thing about it. Okay?
But what if he does? What if he
has if Darnold goes out and balls, then it's like, okay, well, the team surrounding him is good, but does that make Darnold, good? No.
System quarterback.
Yeah.
It's a system.
Exactly.
Brock Purdy is a system QB.
He is definitely, to that level, but,
no, I'm trolling you.
He's, bro, yeah.
He looked really, this is what I'll say. Last week, when they lost, it was tragic. But he looked really good before the concussion, and then after he got concussed, he threw 2 picks, which lost them the game.
Mm-hmm.
So
at one point I think he was 11 of 14 for 150 yards or something like that.
I think that was before the concussion. I don't know if that was that was obviously all before the concussion, but I think that was right before the concussion, and then I saw the stats right after the alleged concussion, which was the tush push.
Yeah.
His stats were terrible.
Right.
They were completely flipped upside down. So I'm not worried about Brock Purdy for the rest of the season.
No, I wouldn't be either.
Just looking at the end of that game, he looked really bad, but I think that he will bounce back once they return from the bye next week.
Right.
But I do have them losing this week in San Francisco as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's all I have to say about that one.
I
think that all of the star players you want in there.
I was going to say Jamar Chase is my start of the week, but I mean, you're starting Jamar Chase no matter what.
Yep.
Joe Burrow, if you're in a 1 QB league and you're between him and, I don't know, Jordan Love, you're obviously starting Joe Burrow.
Who are you going with?
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
But I'm confident with Joe Burrow. I think he'll be a top 10 quarterback this week.
Yeah.
Especially against, the 49ers are a top 5 defense against quarterbacks, but I think Joe Burrow is going to break the mold this week, and I think that he will be a top 10 QB.
Yeah.
In a slate where there's 32 QBs playing. So, well,
that
actually 33 with the Titans.
I'm gonna manifest that the Joe Burrow has a terrible game because I'm playing against him this week. On to the next one. We got Chiefs and Broncos at 425. I mean, it's the NFL, so I hate to always say this game's gonna be a snooze fest or whatever, because I mean, it's at home for the Broncos. There's a chance Russell Wilson starts to cook. He hasn't had that bad of a year. It's just the Broncos defense is tragic. It is tragic.
It's awful.
And one of the more tragic pieces of it is the run defense. Do you know how many rushing yards they've allowed this year?
I know it's a
There's
lot.
7 games.
I know it's a lot, but it's also kind of skewed because the Dolphins week.
Right, that's true.
But I know it's still bad.
So
even
let's take out 300 yards from the Dolphins because I think that's what they had.
Yeah.
And then through 6 games they allowed 900 yards on the ground. If you take that away, through 7 games with the Dolphins, it's 49 or something like that. It's almost 1,200 yards. That is impossible.
In 7 weeks.
That is literally impossible. Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes, bro. I couldn't believe it. So start Pacheco, bro. He's gonna go freaking nuts. I know the Chiefs are still gonna be passing the ball plenty, and I bet Travis Kelce just be walking wide open in the middle of the field like always.
Yeah.
Especially against the Broncos, bro. All of the AFC West teams never cover Kelsey for some
No,
reason.
they're just like,
Makes
he's
no
chilling.
sense, right? They're like, we'll just have him run up the record books on us. But no, I think Pacheco. At this point, he's probably a weekly starter. But if you're having any reservations, this is the matchup. Put him at the one spot just for the manifestation. Like, I feel like he's gonna go crazy.
Damn. Okay, put him at the one spot.
Yeah. Not number one running back, but like,
yeah. At first, that's what I thought you thought, but I realized what you were saying.
It is possible, bro. This is.
They're terrible.
I need to look up next week how many RB1s were against the Broncos.
Probably.
Because I bet, A-Chain and Mostert, and that 1 week.
Brees Hall had a good week.
Brees Hall, yep, exactly.
I don't know who
so
else
yeah,
off the top of my
we'll
head.
check back on that one. I'll make a note to remember to look into that because I bet it's close.
And I bet Pacheco will have a good game too.
No, I think so for sure. And so hopefully this one gets a little exciting and Russ heats up a little bit. But I am kind of foreseeing a Chiefs early lead and then just running the ball out.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. I think the Chiefs are going to blow them out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we do have a surprise game, this would be the most surprising game of the week.
Yep.
If the Broncos do upset them, which it's a division game, you never know. So we'll move on to a game that actually might be the biggest surprise if they win. We got Ravens at Cardinals. It is in Arizona, so you know. You never know. But
is Kyler playing?
No,
that's a huge question. You're saying no.
No, he's.
It's been confirmed.
Yeah, he's
okay.
Well, he's doubtful, so
gotcha.
He's not playing.
But I know he's practicing in full right now, which is exciting for the future.
He is practicing. I could see him back next week. I don't know. We'll see. But dude, I don't even want to talk about this game, man, because my player of the week, I'm so ashamed of myself. Dude, I'm so ashamed of myself. I can't believe I'm even saying this. My player of the week is Lamar Jackson.
Oh, Zach is pooping his pants right now.
God, bro. It actually makes me even more sick than I've been this past week to even say that.
How are you manifesting the 2 QBs I'm playing against this week as having good weeks?
I know. And they're in my division, bro. I hate savage. Them. I know, bro.
But you're just seeing it.
It makes me so sick to say, bro. Like, it literally makes the phlegm in my throat just boil. But listen, there's no denying it, man. I can't deny it. Lamar Jackson is 16-1 against NFC opponents in his career.
What?
Yes. Last week they played the Lions. They were 15-1.
Yeah.
Blew them out.
Yep.
Lamar Jackson looked insane. I have to admit it. Okay. Mm-hmm. He looked insane.
Against a pretty good Lions defense.
Now, no. Let me say though. The refs were definitely hoeing the Lions. Definitely. Mm-hmm. Y'all need to go back and watch that game because the holding was egregious. So if the same thing happens this week and the Ravens just aren't getting any calls, or aren't getting
called for any of that,
yeah, aren't getting holding calls or anything, then Lamar Jackson's gonna have another crazy game, especially against the Cardinals defense. I mean, come on. The Cardinals give up the fourth most amount of points against quarterbacks. Jeez. And I mean, Lamar Jackson, I hate to say it, he's in the MVP conversation. I don't know if he's the front runner, but he's definitely top 5 right now. Mm-hmm. So, God, I literally hate saying that. But that's how you know that he's actually going to have a crazy game this week. I'm sorry, Austin. I know you have to play against him. Yeah. But
he'll be terrible. It'll be all goal line touchdowns for running backs.
I hope so, because I have Gus Edwards, but I'm not starting him anyway. But I also do think that Marquise Brown has a revenge game touchdown this week, too.
That was, if I had switched which one I was going with, I would have said Marquise Brown as my starter for sure.
I was thinking about him.
Yeah. Hollywood revenge game.
Yeah.
Because they shipped, I guess they didn't ship them for pennies, but they shipped them quickly.
He requested the trade.
Interesting, okay.
He was saying, because they weren't passing the ball back.
Yeah, that was when, was it Greg Roman was the offensive coordinator?
Yep.
Yeah, Mr. Run Boy.
Yep, they traded him for the first round pick, and then they drafted a center with it, Tyler Linderbaum.
Yep, he's good.
He is good.
So.
But yeah, I actually saw an interview this week where they were asking Lamar about Hollywood, and he said, you know, if it was up to me, he would still be here, but he didn't want to be here anymore. He wants to feed his family, which doesn't really make sense because he's getting the same contract, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah,
I don't know why he said that. He's an idiot. But he's my player of the week, so whatever.
There you go. On the Sunday night, Bears Chargers. I really hope Tyson Bagent doesn't just end up being an absolute scrub on Sunday night prime time. I hope he does. I think he's going to, and that's why my player of the week is DJ Moore.
Okay.
Because
I think you're gonna say Bagent.
Oh no!
I was like,
no. But DJ Moore is somebody who I was apprehensive to start last week with Bagent, and I think that if they were playing against a better defense, I might still feel the same way. But that Chargers secondary is garbage,
Yeah.
and it doesn't take much to throw a slant to DJ Moore.
Yeah.
I feel like most people can do it. He's really come on the last couple weeks, and I feel like he's going to do it again against a pretty poor passing defense for the Chargers, and they also don't get a lot of pressures, man. I mean, if Khalilmack didn't have a six sack game, shoot, I knew I should have wrote this down, but I'm pretty sure none of their D linemen have over like 3 sacks or 2 sacks or something like that. Besides him, right?
Joey Bosa's been terrible.
Yeah, and this is kind of more a Staley problem than anything, in my opinion. This guy's a defensive-minded head coach, and their defense has been trash for 3 years. Like,
yeah,
you gotta fit, and you have all these stars like Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack are stars. Derwin James, and they're looking like average ass players out there.
Samuel Jr. star.
Right, exactly.
What is going on?
And so, yeah, that's why I think that against this kind of Swiss cheese defense, DJ Moore is going to come out and do well. I still think the Chargers win this game. However, Justin Herbert has been looking very uncomfortable with his broken finger.
Yeah.
It's not a non-throwing hand, so it's kind of more an excuse than anything, but he just looks so off. You know, like he never used to miss throws. It would be more so the situations that he's in or, good defensive play, somebody's doing, but he has just sailed like 5 or 6 throws in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
and,
I think I think a big part of it is the Mike Williams loss.
Yes,
I think that's big because he was their deep threat, and Josh Palmer, he's good, not great.
Mm-hmm.
Keenan Allen, that's not his game. He's not a deep threat guy.
Yeah.
And Quentin Johnson has
doesn't
just
have
been
10
disappointing.
catches.
Yeah. He's been super disappointing.
Yeah.
So
which sucks because I was high on him coming out of the draft, but I heard a lot of people tell me that he can't get open. He doesn't have great hands, and I guess they were right.
Yeah.
And his career is not over after 7 weeks or whatever, but he definitely needs to improve, and they need to do it now if the Chargers are hoping to stay competitive in the playoff race. Because this is a must-win game for them at this point.
Oh my God, have to win this game at home. Sunday Night Football against the Bears with Justin Fields out. You gotta win this.
Right, you absolutely have to, and so yeah, that's why. I think. Keenan is an obvious start.
Yeah.
Eckler's an obvious start.
Yeah.
I think their offense is going to be fine. But in general, I think DJ Moore is probably going to be the highest scorer out of both teams.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Higher than Austin Eckler. Because the Bears are terrible against the run, too.
Yeah, dude. Austin Eckler is scaring me because, he's my boy, obviously. I have him in both of my Dynasty leagues, and I very much would like him to just pop off for 30 and have me never worry about anything again. But it just doesn't look that way, and I don't know if it's the scheme or the offensive line or what, but he has just been struggling to break out. And maybe this is the game that he does, but yeah, I'm just really banking on the Bears, absolutely force-feeding DJ Moore, and I feel like he's going to break off a couple of those passes for some big yardage.
Okay, interesting. Interesting that you say that he's going to score more than Austin Eckler. That's going to be fun to come back to.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
And I hope you're wrong, because I hope Austin Eckler does have a good game. So, and I know you do too.
Yes, I need it, actually. Terribly bad. But hey, bro, if Eckler scores 25 and DJ Moore scores 26...
Yeah, you'll take that.
We're in there. Also, bet the car on Pollard over. I forgot to say that shit. You will literally fucking upgrade immediately, bro. 68 yards is ridiculous.
You did mention it, but you didn't say bet
I forgot
the
to say
car.
bet the car. Bet the damn car on it.
Bet the minivan.
Yeah.
All right, we're moving on to the last game of the slate, Monday Night Football. We got Raiders at Lions, and my player of the week is going to be another rookie. We got Jahmyr Gibbs.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
I'm digging that. I'm
yes,
digging that.
sir. So David Montgomery is still out, and so listen, Jahmyr Gibbs had a crazy week last week. Not like crazy, he didn't have 200 yards, but I mean for
22 points, I think, right?
Yeah, a game where he was a feature back. I mean, he proved that he can be a feature back, and the Raiders give up the 4th most points to running backs. And the Lions lost last week against the Ravens, but Jahmyr Gibbs still scored.
Yep.
And they got blown out. So I think they were down 28-0 at the end of
it was bad.
First quarter. I don't know if it was first
really,
quarter,
really
but
rough.
first half for sure. So I think that Jahmyr Gibbs is definitely going to have another game where he proves that he, deserved to be a top 12 pick in the NFL draft. So especially against the Raiders, who I think are super sus.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing at quarterback
How
yet.
do they have 3 wins, bro?
I
still, I cannot believe it. If you look at the playoff picture right now, they'd be in the hunt.
Oh, it's
And it's
sickening.
that
Oh
team
my
is, this
God.
team is awful.
Yeah, Joshua Daniels is terrible, too.
Every time I watch them play, I just am wondering, what they're doing. I don't get it. And
It's Jacoby Myers, bro. That's the
yeah,
real
that's
thing.
the only reason. And I'm playing against them. Stop it. So, I really feel like if Aiden O'Connell is the quarterback, I feel like we're good to go, and I think that's what's happening. And if Brian Hoyer's
Do you
the
really?
quarterback,
I
then we are
haven't really-
good to go. I mean, dude, if they trot Hoyer back out there after he threw like 30 attempts for 110 yards, like Josh McDaniels is absolutely cooked here. What do you?
Here, I'm looking right now.
Yeah,
25 minutes ago,
Uh-huh.
Jimmy Garoppolo was a full participant in practice today.
Okay, all right, hey, that's actually helpful, and I think he would like. Oh shoot, I don't have the save anymore. Somebody had a tier of coaches, and Josh McDaniels was an ugly and fat.
Oh, I saw that.
Ugly,
too.
fat, and stupid. Yeah,
I did see that. Ugly, fat, and stupid.
The old UFS tier.
Yeah. The tier you never want to be in.
No, bro.
But yeah, I think that Jimmy G does play. I hope he does play this week because that'll be
that can make this game
more
somewhat exciting. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I don't think it's going to be exciting if he doesn't play.
No,
So.
but I could very well see this game looking a lot like the Lions-Packers primetime game a few weeks ago, where the Lions were just running it down their throat the entire time and just kind of looked in control.
Yeah, I think that that's what they're going to do this week too. I also saw that Dan Campbell said that he's not afraid to make Jahmyr Gibbs a feature back and give him plus 20 carries a game. So I think that's going to happen this week.
That would be
I'm running Jahmyr Gibbs up this week. Trust me. So do you have anything else to say, or are we closing it out?
That's it. That's the 16 games or 15 games on Sunday because Thursday was played already.
No,
and
14 because Monday too.
Oh, 14. All right. Well, you know what?
Great.
I'll just stop talking. But no, that's it. Feel good about it. Bet your car on Tony Pollard, and we're in there.
We will see y'all next week to discuss our Week 9 picks, and then we will also discuss what we were wrong about this week, which hopefully will be nothing.
And what we were
Well,
right
unless
about.
Lamar Jackson. Hopefully I'm wrong about that. Hopefully he has a terrible game,
Yes.
and they lose to the Cardinals. I would love that.
Oh, my God.
So we will see y'all next
All
week.
right. Take it easy, y'all.